Hello and welcome to another step-by-step how to tie tutorial video. This is the Bead Chain Belly Leech. This is tied on a Moonlit ML057. It is a 1x strong, 3x long. The bead chain is a 4mm bead chain sourced from a local hardware store. And I have that cut out to 5 beads. We use 5 beads length. Tail material consists of a black Marabou. We'll use 2 feathers for that. In the tail, I also have some Northern Lights crystal flash. This is a red. A lot of sparkle to that. The body material consists of Leech dubbing. This is a Castle Black Leech. And then up front towards the head, I have a reddish UVX KRAP dubbing, both of those from Fly Tires Dungeon. So let's go ahead and remove our sample, and we can secure our hook to our vise. And we will start things off with a 140 denier flat waxed Flymasters Plus thread. We'll start that up front, and we're going to start off with a thread base full length of the hook. We'll take that all the way to the bend, and we'll bring our thread forward, where we will start to tie in our bead chain. And for the initial tie-in portion, I'm just going to focus on where the beads are, keeping my thread nice and close on either side of the bar, but close to the bead. This is just my initial locking technique, and this will spread that bead chain out, locking it all in place. Alright, now we're going to come in with a little bit of glue. This is a Loctite gel control, and I'm just going to add a little dab in between each bead. As that cures, I will run my thread and build this up again, locking in with that glue. Again, I'm focusing the thread tension towards the beads itself to keep them nice and evenly spaced. We'll work our thread to the rear one more time. Where we can tie in our tail, which once again is a black Marabou. And I have 2 feathers here. I'm going to tie them side by side on either side of the hook. I'm going to go 1 hook's length. And tie this in on the near side. Just a couple of turns. And I'm going to match this on the far side. Again, that 1 hook's length. We'll take a couple tight locking wraps, and we'll go ahead and bump our thread forward. For now, we can fold these feathers over. Capture that in one at a time. And I kept the bulk of the feather kind of on the underneath side of that bead, and alongside of the shank of the hook, but not underneath. Trim off my excess Marabou. And we can go ahead and just tie that all in, working our thread once again to the rear of the hook. There we go. Now let's go ahead and come in with our Northern Lights flash. I have 4 strands. Trim those out. And I'm going to just fold these over once and make my 4 strands into 8. Trim off my loops, trim up my ends. I'm going to take those 8 strands and tie it in on either side. We'll start with the near. Take it forward 1 ball. Now we can wrap that in on the far side. A little bit of flash on either side. Alright, now we're going to start doing our dubbing loops. And I know this is going to take a multiple loop system to make the full length of the body. So we'll just work this up in sections. So first things first, we'll create our loop. And we'll come in with a little bit of low-tack wax. We'll set that off to the side for a moment. And we will prepare our dubbing. Once again, this is a Castle Leech Black. I'm going to pull out a section. And I'm just going to kind of pinch and pull, trying to get the fibers to line up side by side. Because when we put this into our dubbing loop, we want it to go perpendicular to the thread. And we'll start this off by just kind of spreading this among our fingertips. Now we can get our dubbing loop, open that up. We'll close that loop. Alright, now we can kind of spread this material around a little bit, making sure it's nice and evenly distributed. And how I like to do it is I like to come up with a whip finish tool to hold my thread as I spin. We get a nice tight dubbing loop going. Now we can come in with our brush. Just a piece of Velcro would work. That's essentially all this is. This releases the magic of this dubbing. Alright, so we'll go ahead and start working our way forward. I'm going to take a few wraps here at the rear just to make sure we have all the rear assets covered. And while I bring it forward, I'm holding the material off of the dubbing loop towards the rear end. Alright, we'll bump it forward in front of this bead now. And that looks like that's it for that loop. So we'll go ahead and secure the tag end of that down. A couple tight locking wraps and trim it off. Now we can wash, rinse, and repeat with another dubbing loop. A couple of turns. And a couple of turns to bring that edge nice and close. We'll bring our thread forward to get it out of the way. Secure it with our shepherd's hook. We'll add our wax. And sometimes it works best just to build your loops in stages instead of trying to just get everything done in one swoop. We're going to go a little bit heavier with this batch now so we can get good density up front. Go ahead and stretch those out over your fingertips, more or less with the Fibers running along left and right. Open up our dubbing loop. Carefully slide that in. And let's go ahead and just spread this out. Nice and even. Should be pretty much there when you start. Alright, we'll come up with the underneath side of the whip finish. We'll give our dubbing a spin. Excellent. Now we can pick it out one more time. Really get in there with the brush. Especially if we have little dense patches. You want to work those loose. There we go. Alright, we'll wrap our dubbing loop over now. Pinching this down nice and tight as we go. Alright, one more turn. Behind that one, and we'll bump it forward. Looks like that turned out just right where we needed it. And we can go ahead and tie that off. Alright, one last dubbing loop. This one's for all the marbles. We'll get that right back there. This time we'll park our thread all the way up front, because we're going the full length, all the way up front. We'll wax our thread, just like before. And this time we're going to start using the reddish UV X. Go ahead and just start stretching that material out, lining up those fibers left and right. I'm going to take a little bit out, it's just a little bit too much. I'm going nice and thick with this. Spread that out on my fingers. I'll come in with my dubbing loop. Open that up. We'll place that inside that loop and give it a pinch. Make sure it's spread out nice and even. Now we spin it to win it. Nice and buggy, that's what I'm looking for here. That's going to be it right there. Alright, going with our brush. I'll let the brush here real quick. We can brush this up. That really thinned it out. I like it. Alright, we'll finish this couple of turns behind this bead. We'll hop in between the next batch with a couple of turns. The rest will all be forward. I'll do one more back here. trim that off nice and secured. And just for giggles, I'm just going to add just a little bit more dubbing. Not with a full-blown loop or anything, but just a little touch to go underneath that front bead. We want to get that nose covered. Alright, now we can come through and just tie this all off. Small little head up front. And we'll finish with the old 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 turns. Secure that down. Trim off our thread. Alright, now we just got to dress this all up a little bit. So we'll take our dubbing brush. We're going to pick and pull at the whole fly. Pick and pull a little bit forwards, a little bit sideways, a little bit in either direction. Just trying to pull the material off of the fly perpendicular. Once that's toughed out, we'll come in with our brush. We can just brush all that material towards the rear now. There you have it. That is a bead chain belly Leech on a Moonlit 057 size 2. And the way it's tied, this is how she'll ride. Upside down. A lot of fun. Alright, have fun with this one. Happy tying, everybody. Tight lines. Thanks.